All right, now we have a story of an artist who uses the ocean as a museum. Over the past 15 years, Jason deCaires Taylor has been transforming seafloors into public art spaces. The sculptor, environmentalist, and underwater photographer's projects explore our relationship to the natural world all around us and underneath of us. For our series Pushing the Limits, Elizabeth Palmer met deCaires Taylor at his workshop in England to explore the message behind his underwater art.
15 feet down, just off the coast of Grenada, stands a ring of concrete children. Nearby, a lone man sits at a typewriter. Welcome to the world's first underwater sculpture park, the creation of British artist Jason deCaires Taylor.
Traditional artworks were often quite about the dangers of the sea and
battling the
elements and man versus nature. And so I'm trying to sort of change that in a way and show how incredibly fragile it is, how incredibly finely balanced.
The project began with deCaires Taylor casting living Grenadians in plaster after a hurricane had destroyed many of the island's coral reefs. He wondered if underwater sculptures based on the casts could lure divers and tourists away from the reefs that had survived.
Maybe if I created something that was a distraction or a way to attract them to an area that was barren or that had been impacted by the hurricane, then it might.
That would give the reefs that were growing better conditions to grow.
Yes.
The sculptures made of non-polluting concrete kept growing and changing too. Ocean creatures moved in, plants, fish, and coral are slowly turning them into artificial reefs. That first marine sculpture park has led to others, from Mexico to the Maldives.
What goes through your mind when you swim around your installations and see them fusing with nature?
Initially, they were all just barren stretches of sand underwater with very little marine life. But when I go and see them now, there's turtles, there's soft corals, there's hard corals, there's massive shoals of fish, octopus, this massive centre of life.
deCaires Taylor is much in demand. In his workshop just outside London are casts from more than a dozen marine installations, which have grown more political to reflect his passion for the environment and his worry about humanity's precarious future.
I think this is probably one of the most obvious sculptures that I've made. And it was part of the recent installation in Cyprus. I think it's pretty self-evident
it's
about
the next generation
yes.
carrying us.
One of his recent installations sits on Australia's Great Barrier Reef. She's called the Siren, wired to show the ocean warming around the coral. And 20 feet underwater, off the coast of Cyprus, a new project has just opened. Human forms in an underwater forest that's already drawing marine creatures.
I suppose part of the message as your sculptures get encrusted with living creatures is this ocean is full of life and it will regenerate given the chance.
Definitely, I think there is a sort of a positive narrative that people take away when they visit the works. That I hope that it reminds them that we are nature, we're part of the environment, we're dependent on each other for our ultimate survival. It's this symbiotic relationship.
For CBS Mornings, I'm Elizabeth Palmer in London.
Nicely done, Liz Palmer. Don't you think it's very calming? Don't you feel calmer?
Yeah, absolutely beautiful work, and even more beautiful over time.
You know that song, Everything's Better when it's wetter. You know it.